Hello everyone, welcome to GitHub Hot Today. Today's featured projects are Langflow, a visual platform for building and deploying AI agents and workflows; VibeVoice, Microsoft's open source frontier voice AI supporting long-form multi-speaker synthesis and recognition; and claude-howto, a comprehensive visual guide with copy-paste templates to master Claude code from beginner to advanced user. Langflow is a visual IDE for building and deploying AI agents and MCP servers. It lets you drag, drop, and connect components to create complex workflows without writing boilerplate code. You build flows by connecting components like chat input, language models, and tools. Each component is a node, and the connections form a directed acyclic graph that defines the execution order. For example, this simple agent template connects an agent component to a calculator and a URL tool. The agent decides which tool to call based on your query. Test it in the playground. Ask it to add 4 and 4, and you'll see the agent call the calculator tool, get the result, and return the answer. No code needed. Version 1.8 just dropped with some solid improvements. Global model provider setup means you configure your API keys once and reuse them across all flows. No more credential sprawl. They also redesigned the API with new V2 workflow endpoints. The response structure is cleaner, and you can run jobs asynchronously in the background. Debugging got way better too. Traces show you detailed execution logs for each component, including latency, token usage, and input-output data. You can spot bottlenecks instantly. Under the hood, it's Python. You can customize any component or write your own. But for most tasks, the visual editor and hundreds of pre-built components are enough. Deployment is flexible. Run it locally with Docker, use the desktop app, or deploy to their cloud. The same flows work everywhere. If you're building RAG apps, multi-tool agents, or just experimenting with LLM workflows, Langflow cuts the iteration time significantly. Check it out on GitHub. VibeVoice is Microsoft's new open-source framework for generating expressive, long-form, multi-speaker conversational audio like podcasts directly from text. It tackles the usual TTS bottlenecks, scalability, speaker consistency, and natural turn-taking in conversations. The core innovation here is using continuous speech tokenizers operating at an ultra-low frame rate of just 7.5 Hz. This approach preserves audio fidelity while massively boosting efficiency for processing long sequences. VibeVoice employs a next token diffusion framework, where an LLM handles context and dialogue flow, and the diffusion head generates the high-fidelity acoustic details. You can synthesize speech up to 90 minutes long, with up to 4 distinct speakers, which blows past the typical 1 or 2 speaker limits of most prior models. In subjective evaluations, VibeVoice leads in preference, realism, and richness compared to heavyweights like Gemini and 11 Labs. Beyond TTS, there's VibeVoice ASR, a unified speech-to-text model designed for 60-minute long-form audio in a single pass. It generates structured transcriptions telling you who spoke, when they spoke, and what they said, all at once. Unlike conventional ASR that slices audio into chunks and loses global context, this handles the full hour continuously. It supports over 50 languages natively and handles code switching without needing explicit language settings. For real-time applications, there's VibeVoice Realtime, a lightweight 0.5B parameter model. It delivers initial audible speech in about 200 milliseconds with streaming text input support. It uses an interleaved window design to incrementally encode text chunks while generating audio in parallel. One thing to note, Microsoft temporarily disabled the main repo after release due to some inconsistent usage cases, so check the current status before diving in. The real-time variant is currently English only and single speaker, though they're working on expanding voice options. claude-howto is a comprehensive guide that turns Claude code from a chatbot into a customizable development environment. It provides ready-to-use /commands, skills, sub-agents, and hooks that you can drop into your workflow immediately. The core idea here is simple. Instead of typing the same prompts over and over, you create reusable capabilities. The repo includes over 55 built-in slash commands, 10 custom sub-agents, and a complete learning roadmap that takes you from beginner to power user in about 11 hours. Let me show you the learning path. It's structured into 3 levels. Level 1 covers slash commands and memory. You'll be productive within 3 hours. Level 2 adds skills, hooks, MCP servers, and sub-agents for automation. Level 3 dives into advanced features like agent teams, CI, CD integration, and plugin development. Slash commands are your quickest win. You get things like optimize for code analysis, PR for pull request preparation, and commit that automatically gathers Git context before creating a commit message. These live in .claude/commands or the newer .claude/skills directory. Here's PR in action. It runs prettier, executes tests, reviews the Git diff, stages changes, creates a conventional commit, and generates a PR summary. All automated with one command. Memory is where this gets powerful. You have claude.md files at multiple levels, project memory for team standards, user memory for personal preferences, and even auto memory where Claude learns patterns from your sessions. Just type hash, remember this followed by your rule, and Claude asks where to save it. Watch this flow. You tell Claude to remember a rule about checking virtual environments before running Python scripts. It asks whether to save to project or personal memory. You pick personal, and now that rule applies to every Claude session across all your projects. Skills take this further. They're auto-invoked capabilities with YAML front matter that tells Claude when to use them. The code review skill triggers when you mention reviewing code. The brand voice skill ensures all your copy matches company tone. You can even run skills in isolated sub-agents with context fork. Sub-agents are specialized AI assistants with their own context windows. You've got built-in ones like Explore for read-only code-based analysis, Plan for implementation planning, and Bash for terminal operations. But you can also create custom agents like Code Reviewer, Test Engineer, or Debugger with specific tool, access, and system prompts. The architecture supports chaining agents too. You can have a coordinator agent that delegates to worker and researcher sub-agents, each with restricted tool access. Agents can run in background, persist memory across sessions, and even work in isolated Git work trees. For teams, there's a complete catalog with 117 total features, including plugins, MCP servers for external integrations like GitHub and databases, and 25 hook events for automation. You can set up pre-commit validation, security scanning, or auto-formatting on file writes. Installation is straightforward. Clone the repo, copy the commands you need to .claude/commands, add claude.md to your project root, and you're ready. There's even a one-command install script that sets up everything at once. One thing to note, this moves fast. The docs reference Claude Code version 2.1.84 from March 2026, and features like auto mode and agent teams are still marked as research previews. But the core concepts, skills, memory, sub-agents, are stable and production ready. If you're spending more than 15 minutes a day on repetitive Claude prompts, this repo will pay for itself. Start with the self-assessment quiz in the learning roadmap, find your level, and work through the milestones. The hands-on exercises are solid. They actually test what you learned. That's all for today's show. See you tomorrow.